what is Tableau? Tableau is a data visualization tool. Using this, I can do data visualization. Okay. For an example, I have some data. I have some raw data, right? If I interpret this raw data in the table format, it would take a lot of time to interpret the data. For example, what is the product? What is the customers? Who is the top customer? Something like that. Then it would take a lot of effort to understand the data, right? So if I make the same data into the dashboard format, it is easy to interpret the data, right? I can quickly interpret the data, right? So that is the main purpose of using Tableau. Okay, it helps in simplifying raw data into easily understandable format. That is what dashboard. So basically, you can understand Tableau for developing a dashboard. Simply, that's all. All right, and then what is the data visualization? Visualization is nothing but using, it's a graphical representation of information. By using element like charts, graphs, maps, using this, I can plot this as a dashboard. Okay, so this is what basically data visualization. So for this thing only, I would be using Tableau. All right, so in order to develop a dashboard, I need to follow some workflows, right? For an example, I want to go to office, right? In order to go to office, I have to follow some procedure, right? I have to get up in the morning. I have to follow my timing. Then I have to take a bath. So there are some procedures, right? Then only I'll go to office. Once I go to office, then I'll follow my workflow. So then first I would need to check my email. Then what are the pending tasks are there? By understanding that, I will start working on it, right? So similarly, for developing a dashboard also, you have to follow some workflows. Workflows are, first you have to connect the data source, right? So because as I told you before, Tableau is a data visualization tool. Basically, I'm going to do some visualization. For an example, this is my data. Documents. Source. So let me tell you simply why we are using Tableau. Okay, so this is my raw data. So this data is about Superstore. Superstore means like we used to purchase some provisions and all, right, in nearest Superstore. So it is similar to that. So it is one of the Superstore data where I can find all the list of customers. So each and every customer, how much they have purchased, what is the product they have purchased, in which region they have purchased, what is their address. So all the details are available here. Okay. As a Superstore owner, I want to understand what is the today's date sales, what is the last month sales, what is the last 6 months sales, right? So similarly, I need to understand what is the current day profit, yesterday profit, last 6 months, who is my top 10 customers, who is my bottom 10 customers, which are the top performing cities in terms of sales. So there are so many insight as a product owner I would need to understand, right? So if I have the data something like this in the table format, it is hard to interpret the data, right? For example, I want to know what is the sales, what is the overall sales. Then I have to go to sales column. Then I have to do aggregation, right? Aggregation on this column. For example, I have to put a formula like sum of this particular column. So then only I'll come to know, okay, so this is my overall sales. Then how I can find what is the today's date sales, then I have to navigate to the corresponding date. So for example, whatever the date you want, okay, so this date, for example, January month, the entire January month. So entire January month sales is this, right? So again, I have to aggregate it. Look at the bottom of my screen, 19461.9156. Right. So for each and every insight, I have to do some manual works. So same data, I just converted something like this in the dashboard format, right? Something like this. Then I can easily interpret the data. For example, okay, this is my overall sales. This is my overall quantity. This is my overall profit, right? So each and everything. And definitely I can have some set of filters. By just using that, I'll come to know what is the sales with respect to that filter, right? So something like that also. So I'll also come to know what is the region-wise sales, category-wise sales, segment-wise sales, everything, So within a 5 minute, I can interpret my entire data, right? So it can be million, 20 million, even more than that. But I can interpret the data within 5 minutes, right? That is the purpose of Tableau. Okay, so this is the purpose. So in order to develop this, I have to follow some workflows. What is the workflows? The workflow number one is you have to connect the data. Okay, so first we are going to connect the data. Then you have to clean the data. Data cleaning. What is cleaning? For example, I want to do some visualization. All right, from a table, I want to do some visualization. But according to my requirement, I need only 20 columns. But in my database, in that table, I have around 200 columns. Then I would need to trim the column, right? I would need to remove unwanted columns. This is one of the examples for data cleaning. So similarly, I might need to reduce the rows according to my data. For example, overall data, according to my requirement, I need to plot the dashboard only for one particular region. Then why we need to have rest of the data? So we can simply remove it, right? So these are the example for data cleaning. So those data cleaning work you have to do, right? So that is another thing. And another thing, modeling, data modeling you have to do. What is data modeling? Data modeling is nothing but it's a process of combining multiple tables. Okay, because visualization generally you cannot do with one single table. You have to do this with multiple table. It could be 10 tables, 15 tables, even more than that. Okay, it is up to the requirement. Even it also can be 5 tables also. Definitely it is based on the requirement. All right. So basically I have to do this table combining process. That is what data modeling basically. Okay, for modeling we have several features. Okay, that we will learn later of the session. All right. Next I have to write the calculation. What is calculation? Calculation is nothing but inside this, for example, in Excel, we used to write some formulas, right? To make a column or some other data manipulation, we would be writing some formulas, right? Similarly, according to my requirement, I would need to write so many calculation, right? So that is what the next thing. After that, finally, you can start developing a visualization, which is chart. Okay, so we would be using these workflows. By following this workflows only, we would be building a dashboard. Okay, that's all. So this is the Tableau introduction, and this is the way we are going to building a dashboard. All right. So for any questions? You can also ask me question in Tamil because I know Tamil. Tamil தெரியும். Tamil தான் நல்லா தெரியும்.
Hello.
So yes. So if anyone wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. If I call out your name, then you can start ask your question, so that it will not overlap with others, right? Okay. Yes, I got hand from Venkatesh. Yes.
Hi. Is it possible to edit the data inside that it's already created? Only I can visualize or I can view right in the dashboard.
Edit in the sense? Where you want to edit it?
If you want to make changes, anything in edit, you want to make any changes inside the data, inside the records. It's not possible.
You cannot make the change directly to the database, but you can change it on top of the Tableau. Like in Tableau, you can make the change, but whereas you cannot change the database.
Okay.
Because that particular table might be using for multiple team. Okay. So some use the data, some different team will be using the same table. If you make that change in the database, it will affect all of them, right? It should not be appropriate, right? So that is why. Okay, so according to your requirement, you're the one going to transform the data and you're going to build a dashboard. So that is how it is going to be. All right, for example, I told you know, in my database, I have 200 columns. Okay, in a table, I have 200 columns. But according to my requirement, I need only 20 columns. That column trimming process I can do within a Tableau, not in a database, because other column might be useful for some other team, right? This is the appropriate way, correct? So that is the way it is. All right. Okay. Next, I'm going to tell you how to download a Tableau. Okay. Listen this part very carefully. When it comes to Tableau download process, one thing we need to understand. Actually, in a real time, people would be using Tableau desktop product to build a dashboard. Okay. So this is the product they would be using to build a dashboard. Look at here, Tableau 2025.1, right? So that is what it is showing for me. So let me open it. So this is the product I'll be using to build a dashboard. Okay, this is one thing. But unfortunately, this is not open source. This is the paid version. You have to pay money for this to be used. This is the professional edition. In real-time world, everyone would be using Tableau Professional Edition, which is Tableau desktop product. Okay, but unfortunately, since it is paid version, we are going to use Tableau public version, which is also Tableau product only, but it is an open source. So the reason Tableau has published this particular product just to practice, just to everyone to practice with this product. Okay, so that is the purpose of Tableau public. But the difference between these two products is some advanced feature may not be available in the Tableau public version. Okay, but it is not mandatory. All right. So I'll show you one of the example. I'll show you. For example, this is my Tableau product, Tableau desktop product. This is my Tableau public product. Look at here, Tableau public, which is the open source. Okay, anyone can download and use it. So let me open this. Look at here, this one also looks like this, right? Similar to this, right? But the difference between these two, in the Tableau desktop version, this is my Tableau desktop version. Here I can find so many connectors. I can connect with any database. I can connect with Snowflake, Amazon Redshift. There are so many connectors. Look at here, more. When I click on more, it is giving so many connectors for me. Right? It is allow me to connect any database. Whereas Tableau public listed only flat file related, like Excel. Some when it comes to server related, Google data, OData, other data, something like that. Okay, so that is this kind of restriction only you can find, but it will not affect your learning things. Okay, all the mandatory feature will be available. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to say. So now I'm going to show you how to download a Tableau public version. All right, first let me write few things here. So there are two products. I'll also send the notes that you can find at the end of the session. Okay. Whatever I'm showing here, that will be included in the notes. Okay. So two products. One is Tableau desktop. All right. This is the professional edition. This is what people would be using in the real-time world, but it's a paid version. But in order to eradicate this problem, we are going to use Tableau public version. This is the open source. All right. So this is the thing. Now I'm going to tell you how to download a Tableau public version. All right. Now let me open my Google Chrome. and here just put Tableau public download. All right. It is not Google. So just click on first link. Okay, it will take you here. Here you can click on explore public. Hold on a second. Not this one. Okay. Try now. Okay, this is the one. So let me do one thing. Okay. So let me post a link for you. Okay, just click on the link. It will take you to the direct page of downloading link to public. Okay. So this is the link. I'll post it in the chat as well as WhatsApp. Okay. Just click on this. It will take you to the download link directly. All right. So first let me share with you. You don't want to do it now. Later, after the session end, you can do this. Okay. You can start downloading Tableau and everything. Okay. Now let me Tableau public. Yes, I just posted in WhatsApp. It is posted as an image incorrectly. Yes, I posted now, and also I'll post the same in chat window. It is better to install WhatsApp in your system because each and every day I'll be sharing my notes through WhatsApp only. Okay, so that if you download WhatsApp, it is easy to get that all those documents and you can keep it in your system. Okay, so let me post it here also. Tableau public version link. Okay, just click on this link and start downloading. So once you get into this page, it will ask you first name, last name, email ID. Email ID can be your Gmail, any personal email, no problem. And role, you can choose personal user, no problem. Okay. And country according to your country, no problem. Okay. And hit on download app. For example, let me do this and click on download. Look at here, download has started. It has started. But sometime what would happen, it would not start immediately as soon as you click on that link. What would happen, that sometime it will block your pop-up. Okay, you have to disable it. The way you can do it, go to this 3-dot settings and then just type search for pop-up. Okay, so within this we have some pop-up option. That is why it is getting highlighted in yellow color. So let me get into this option. And here I have, here we have option called pop-up and redirects. Click on that. Okay, just click on this option, can send pop-up and use redirects. If your browser in this option, it will not allow you to download this. Okay. So just switch to this option and then again click on the same link and fill up the form and hit on the download icon. Definitely it will start downloading. Okay. So this is the way you can download the Tableau. All right. So for any questions?
Hello.
Ashok. Yes, Ashok.
Sir, what is duration of this trial version?
Hold on. Your voice is echoing. Okay. Can you tell
Duration
me
of
now?
the trial version.
Sorry, division of?
Duration. I mean, how many days I can use this trial version?
I never said it's a trial version. Who said it's a trial version?
Okay.
It's not a trial version, ma. It's a separate product. Okay. So Tableau has brought this product. Whoever wants to learn the Tableau, right?
Yeah.
In order to use them, they have brought this product into the market. It is unlimited. It is not a trial version.
Okay, fine.
Okay, but you might experience some limitation. There are some limitation. For example, I told you, one of the example, you cannot have multiple connectors. You cannot connect to different database. You can connect only with the Excel data, something like that. Okay, so there will be some limitation because learner no need to connect with different database. It is not mandatory, right? So they would be providing only mandatory feature in the Tableau public. It's an open source and it is unlimited.
Unlimited. Okay, fine. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Any other questions? So once it is done, you can raise down your hand. Yes, Vignesh. I got rise from Vignesh, I think. See. No, that's all. So no questions? That's all? Don't hesitate to ask a question. Okay, if you have a questions, please ask. It can be silly also. Sometimes it can be silly also. No problem. I'm here to help you.
Oh, sir, am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. So may I know the difference between Power BI and Tableau? What will be the major difference?
Difference between Power BI and Tableau. Power BI is a Microsoft product, whereas Tableau is a different company product. Okay, this is one of the important thing. The reason why I highlighting this difference, since it's a Microsoft, like Power BI is a Microsoft product, right? You will get this product in a low cost. You cannot compare with Tableau. Okay, Tableau is a high cost.
Okay.
Power BI is a low cost. That is another thing. And another difference is for mid-level organization, low-level organization, Power BI will be suitable. Whereas high-level organization, big-level organization and all would be preferring Tableau. Because Tableau is providing high-level features, the top-level features. All the high-level features, you can find it in the Tableau. All. Okay, but Power BI is not like that. Like it can handle only some not limited. I cannot say it is limited because there are so many companies are using this without any problem. But the difference, when you're asking difference between Power BI and Tableau, right? That's when I'm raising this as a concern. For example, in Tableau, you can use large amount of data. For example, even more than 50 millions of data also, you can use it without any problem, without any lag issue. Whereas Power BI, you can't. Okay. So after some point, it might experience some slowness, performance issue. There are some limitations. Okay. So something like that. But it is not like Tableau is easy, Power BI is not easy. No, not like that. Actually, I would say Power BI is easy than Tableau. Okay. So if you know Excel, you can easily learn Power BI. Okay. It's kind of advanced Excel. So that is the way it is. So these are the ways these two tools are different.
Okay. Then thanks.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions? So I think Divya has posted this question, right? Okay, I hope I have answered this question. Okay, data, ma, please ask your question orally, ma. Otherwise, I will not come to know. I cannot check this chat window, right? Because when I'm talking, I'll not get a chance to look into this, right? Please ask your question. If you're not comfortable in English, is asked in Tamil. Please don't use some other language because I don't know. Alright. So தமிழ்ல கேளுங்க. ஏதாவது உங்களுக்கு தெரியலனா கேளுங்க. ஓகே, கேட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை, பார்த்துக்கலாம். தப்பா ஆயிட போகுது, யாரும் தலைலாம் வாங்கிட மாட்டாங்க, கத்துக்க தான் வந்திருக்கோம் எல்லாரும். So please ask your question. Alright, poorly, then only I'll come to know. So data modeling is nothing but simply I'm saying, for example, I want to do this visualization. Okay, I want to develop this particular dashboard. Okay. For an example, sales is coming from one table, profit is coming from one table. Then, but I want to put these two data together, right, in one single dashboard. Then it is important to combine these two tables as a one single table. It depends. Basically, I have to combine it, right? So that process that you are combining these two tables as one single table, right? This process is what called as a data modeling. Simply I'm saying, okay. So this is what the process, but for this process, we have many features. We can do this with joins. We can do this with relationship. We can do this with data blending. We can also do this with union. Like we have these many features. Okay. First we need to understand each and every feature, post which we need to decide which one we should go for according to the requirement. Okay. So basically you can understand the process of combining the table is what? The data modeling process. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Silent is not going to help us. Yes, Logesh.
Sir, once again tell the process of installation.
Process of installation, I'll tell you. Okay, so up to download, you know, right? So you have to click on that link. You are going to very easy step. Okay, I have already shared the link for downloading Tableau public version. Okay, so you are going to click on that link, which is going to take you to the download link, where you need to fill up all the form, your first name, last name, email ID, country, those things, and you have to click on the download process. When you hit on the download link, it will automatically start the downloading as I showed you here. But sometime it might block your pop-up, because generally download will start from your pop-up only. Okay, pop-up is the feature. Feature is to execute one of the execution parallelly. Okay, so that parallel pop-up execution might your browser might block that pop-up. Okay, in default. In such case, you have to get into that option as I showed you before. You have to allow that pop-up so that it will allow it. Then again, you have to click on the same link, fill up all the form. Again, click on the download. Definitely, it will start the downloading. No issues. All right, that's all. This is just for downloading Tableau public. Once it is downloaded, what you need to do, just double click on the exe file. For an example, let me starting from beginning. I think I okay, so once it is downloaded, what you need to do, just double click on the exe file and click next. That's all. So that it will be installed in your system. Okay, this is the instruction. All right. So once it is installed, you have to search for that product. In the search window, just type Tableau. You can find this option, Tableau public, whatever the version number. Okay, and just click on that so that it will open something like this. Something like this.
Desktop public edition. If your download doesn't begin automatically, try again for Mac, Intel, Mac, Apple, or Windows.
Yeah, that is what here also, for me also it is showing, right?
Yeah.
Look at my screen. This is what's showing for you, right?
Yeah.
So that means it has already started the downloading. Look at here. In the right hand side top, it would show something like this.
But I'm not finding so.
That means pop-up blocked your download. Okay, whatever I instructed you before, like, so you have to get into this. Just click on this three dot. Please be on mute because your voice is echoing for me. Okay, so just go to three dot, go to settings, drop down towards last where you can find the settings option. Click on the settings option, search for pop-up. Just type pop. It will highlight wherever this option available, right? In that it will highlight. Here it is getting highlighted. Just click on that. Click on this and select this option. Site can send pop-up and use redirects. Click on this. Again, once you clicked on this, close your browser completely, reopen it, and click on the link that I provided you, right? Click on the link again. Again, do the same thing, same process. Definitely, the next time it will start downloading. Okay, wow. So look at here, now it has completed for me. Download has completed for me. Now let me click on this. I have got this installation window. Let me click on this. I'm just going to agree my license agreement. This agreement, and I'm going to click on next. That's all. Here I don't have next. Install. I have already installed it, so that is why I'm not going to install it. Okay. All right. Any other questions? That's all. Oh, no questions. Oh. So okay. So now let me come to the point. Downloading process point. So this is the way you can install Tableau public version. Now you might ask me some question, right? So, then how I can use Tableau desktop version? Because you told me there are some limitation. Some feature may not be available, right? Then how I can experience those missed features, right? So in order to do that, what you can do, you can download Tableau desktop version also. But remember, you can download Tableau desktop version once in a time. Only once. When you are installing Tableau desktop version, it will allow you to use 14 days as a trial period. This is where trial period comes. Okay, it's a full version. It will first time when you're downloading and installing this, it will allow you to use for 14 days period. So what I would suggest, don't download this product now. Listen this carefully, instruction. Don't download this product for now, but the notes I'm going to send you after the session end, right? In that you can find the Tableau desktop download link also, but don't click and download it. What I would suggest, after 20 or 25 days, you can download this particular product. Whichever feature you missed, right? Whichever feature is not available in the Tableau public, those you can experience after 20-25 days, because after 20-25 days you will get some idea what is Tableau, how it is working, what are the features I missed in Tableau public version, something like that. So after 20-25 days you can download this, so that you're going to get 14 days trial period. So within 30 to 40 days, like within one month or on and around 1 month, I'll be completing this course. So within this you can experience all the things. That is the idea. Okay, so this is the idea. This is the way I would suggest. All right. So for any questions? No. So download this now. Don't download now. Do it after 20 or 25 days, so that you will get an opportunity to play around with this option. Also, if you come across any questions, you can also ask me. No problem. Okay, so these are the ideas. All right, all are clear now. So this is the notes I'm going to share with you. So look at here. Here I have already documented what is Tableau, what is the introduction of Tableau, what is the data visualization. So what is the workflow? What are the workflows we are going to use, right? And simple demonstration. Why we would, what is the purpose of Tableau, right? So I demonstrated like I open a Excel. That is the raw data. That raw data is what we are converting this in the dashboard format. That is the purpose we are using Tableau, right? So our goal is we are converting this raw data into dashboard format. Okay, so this is our goal. All right. Now then I showed you how to download a Tableau. So for downloading a Tableau, there are two options. One, you can download Tableau public version. This is my recommended way. Look at here, Tableau public, which is similar to Tableau desktop version, but some feature may not be available. Okay, I have already mentioned here clearly. Okay, don't download this now. Sorry, don't download this now. You can download Tableau public for now. Okay, after 20-25 days, you can try this. That is also I have clearly mentioned here by just clicking on this link. So I'll tell you how to download a Tableau desktop version. Let me click on this. This one also will take you to the link. Here also you have to fill up the same information. Okay, first name, last name, business email ID, country, and phone number. If you click on the Tableau, this link, it will download Tableau desktop version. This product is different, that product is different. Okay, but UI wise, both looks like same, nothing different. Okay, but here you will be getting all the features. All right. So for any questions? All right. So with this, we are going to wrap up the session because I'm not going to start today's session with some topic. I want everyone to download the Tableau first. So Tableau downloading process is first. Also understand the top level understanding. Why we need to use Tableau, right? Without understanding, there is no point of discussing about the Tableau. So that thing you have to understand. So first, just think about it and get some idea. Just get some understanding. Okay. Post which, just see how to download a dashboard. Tableau public, right? Because that is the one everyone would have installed, right? So let me open it. What is Tableau public and Tableau desktop version? Can anyone tell me? What is Tableau public version? What is Tableau desktop version?
The Tableau desktop is a paid version, and the Tableau public we can access without any. That means it is not a paid version.
How about others? Thank you, Rajeshri. Yeah, great. How about others?
It's open source.
Okay, so Tableau public is the open source, whereas Tableau desktop is a paid version. Okay, so the difference between these two tools is nothing but you might experience some limitation when it comes to Tableau public. Okay, Tableau desktop you can have the entire feature, all the features. Okay, it's a professional edition. All right, but we can download only Tableau public now, but later you might also download Tableau desktop. So and you will be getting 14 days trial period. During this trial period, you will get a chance to play around with the feature that you have missed in the Tableau public version. Okay, so this is our idea, right? That is what I told you in the yesterday session. All right, so now I have opened Tableau public version. First of all, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you how to connect the data, right? Why data required in Tableau? Can anyone tell me? Why we need data?
With the data only, we can plot some visualization.
Exactly. Okay. So basically, Tableau is a visualization tool. Visualization means I can build a dashboard, right? So that is what it means. So without data, I cannot do anything, right? So data is mandatory. So somehow you have to connect the data. It can come from various source. It can come from Excel, it can come from Notepad, or it can come from various things. Even it can also come from Snowflake, MySQL, PostgreSQL. There are so many databases out there. You know, it can come from these various databases, right? That is one thing. So now I'm going to tell you how to connect Excel data. The first thing, okay. First, you would need to open a Tableau, and it would look something like this. In the left hand side, you can find all the connectors. Okay, so under to a file, you can find connectors that are related to flat file. What is flat file? Flat file means Once the data updated, it will not be updated dynamically in the backend. Okay, for example, I have a Excel data. All right. In this Excel data, I have updated some data. Okay. Would any data would automatically come and update in this Excel? No, right? No, there is no other go. Until or unless I open and update any data, there is no chance of loading data into that Excel, right? So those are files are called as a flat file. Okay. So Excel, Notepad, JSON file, PDF. So these many flat files we have. So generally we would be using Excel file. Okay. So under to a file option, you can find all the flat file connectors. So that is where I can find the connectors called Microsoft Excel. So let me click on that because my data is in Excel format now that I'm going to connect. First, let me show you the data and then post which I'll take you. So let me tell you one more thing. When you install Tableau desktop, right? Tableau desktop, I'm not talking about Tableau public. When you install Tableau desktop version, Tableau will automatically configure this particular folder, the folder name called as My Tableau repository. This folder will automatically configure in your documents folder. Okay. So this is only for Tableau desktop version, not for Tableau public version. Why? What is the need of this folder? All the components that are related to Tableau, right? Everything will be available in this folder. During this installation, it will automatically configure in your documents folder. Okay. So inside this folder, I can find sample data. So Tableau itself, it is giving some sample data that I can find inside this folder. Okay. So that is where I'm going inside. So let me open this folder. Here there is a folder called data source. And inside this, I have 2025 folder. Let me get into this folder. Here I have multiple files, but real time, it will be having 2 or 3 files. These are the files I created. Okay. But you will be having one data set, sample superstore data. Okay. That is one thing. So now let me open this data. So my data in Excel format, this data I'm going to connect with Tableau now. All right. Okay. Now let me open public, click on Excel. If I want to connect with Excel, then I have to click on Excel connectors. If I want to connect with CSV file, then I have to click on, 1 second. Text file. Okay, so CSV can be loaded as a text file because generally CSV will be separated as a comma and it will be treated as a text file only. Okay, so if you want to connect with CSV file, then you can click on text file and you can get that loaded. All right, so now we are going to connect the Excel file. So once you click on Excel, it will take you to the path. Now you need to target the file that you want to connect. Okay, so let me click on this file, open. So once you click on any data set, this is how it will take you. This is the window it will take you. Okay, so this is the tab is what called as a data source tab. Look at the bottom of my screen, left hand side bottom, right? This is what data source tab. Okay, once you connect the data, the related in that Excel file, whatever the sheets are available, those will be loaded as a table. Look at here, in that Excel table, I have 4 tabs, 4 sheets. One sheet number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Those 4 sheets have loaded as a separate table. Orders table, people table, product table, returns table. Okay. So now I just connected with the data. Now I need to tell the Tableau that which table I'm going to use it, right? So in order to do that, you have to drag and drop the corresponding table. For example, I'm going to use orders table. Let me take the orders table and put it inside the canvas. All right. Now look at here. I have got the preview. It is giving preview about this data. Whatever the table I drag and drop, it is giving preview about that particular table. All right. So the place where I drag and drop, right? This is the place where I drag and drop. This place is what called as a logical layer. This is also one of the interview question. Okay. So what they would ask you, what is logical layer basically? Okay, the place where you drag and drop the table, right, for using that place is what called as a logical layer. Okay, and there is another layer also is there, which is what called as a physical layer. How I can get into physical layer, I'll tell you. So right click on the table, there is an option called open. Click on that, it will take you to the another layer. Look at here, if that layer shows with this box, that is what called as a physical layer. There is a purpose to know the difference between what is logical layer and physical layer. In the logical layer, we would be performing relationship. In the physical layer, we will be performing joins. That is why it is important to differentiate these two layers. Okay, well, so basically what I'm trying to say, if I take this, if I take the another table and put it here, that means I'm performing joins. These two tables will be combined using joins feature. What is joins? What is relationship? That I'll tell you later. But I'm just telling you why you would need to understand logical layer and physical layer. Okay. So the same table, if I drag and drop when I'm in logical layer, it would perform relationship. That is why it is important to understand the difference between these two. Okay. All right. This is one thing. And the next thing, once you drag and drop the table, it will give you the preview below. Look at here, the right hand side bottom, it is giving the preview of this particular table. So I can find what are the columns are there. I can quickly preview it. Okay, so that is the purpose of this particular thing. Here also I can change the data type. What is data type and all, I'll tell you. Okay, basically here I can preview the table and I can change the data type. Okay, that is a purpose. In the left hand side, I have another preview, right? Here I can find the table column preview. What are the columns are there? For example, these many columns are there. Orders data, ship data, row ID. These many columns are there, and where it is coming from? It is coming from orders table, right? So that particular preview, I can find it here. Okay, that is another thing. And apart from this, in Tableau desktop version, you will be having another option here in the right hand side. Besides to this filter, you can find two options. One is live, another one is extra connection. That I'll tell you. Okay, but this is the way I can connect with Excel data. Look at here. Let me click on sheet number 1 now. Sheet number 1 is what the area where we can build a chart, separate chart. All right. So let me click on sheet number 1. Look at here. I have got all the columns in the left hand side. Now I can drag and drop any column that will be previewed in the canvas. Okay, so this is the basic thing. So this is the way I can connect with Excel data. Okay, so for any questions? No questions? Yes, Safrin. Yes, Safrin, go with your question. I got raise hand from Afrin. Please tell me your question. Okay. Okay. If you don't have any question, you can rise down. Afrin is not rise down. Also not asking any question. Sir, my audio is not working. Okay. All right. Please fix it and come back and ask your question. Okay. All right. Now, this is the way we can connect to Excel data. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you how to connect PostgreSQL database, because as one of the example, you should know, right, how to connect with at least one database, right? That is what I'm going to tell you. But this is not mandatory. Okay. So I'm just for an example, I'm going to tell you how to connect with PostgreSQL. Okay. But we are going to deal the entire session with Excel data only. Okay. But just for an example, I'm going to tell you how to connect PostgreSQL. So now let me close this window. I don't want to save anything. Let me click on no. Let me open the Tableau public version again. So here, if I want to connect with PostgreSQL, I have to click on PostgreSQL connectors, right? That will be available under to a server because PostgreSQL, MySQL, all these are related to cloud related database. Data is not storing in your local machine. It is storing in the cloud, right? So those cloud related database, you can find it under to a server. Okay, those connectors. If you click on more, it will give you all the connectors. Since it is a public version, it is not giving all the connectors. It is giving only 3 connectors. Okay, where I cannot find the Postgres. So that is why in this case, I'm going to open Tableau desktop version. This one, which I have already installed. So look at here, this is my Tableau desktop version. Here I can click on more. Here I can find more connectors, all the connectors. Here I can search for PostgreSQL. I can click on these connectors. Here it is asking what is your host, what is your port, database, username, password, everything. Once you validate these things, you can click on sign in so that it will take you to it will connect the data basically. Okay, so that is the way. So I have already installed PostgreSQL. Okay, remember, in order to install PostgreSQL, you need to have PostgreSQL database in your system. You're supposed to install it in your system. Otherwise, you cannot connect. Okay, which I have already installed. That is why I'm processing this. All right. So local host, that is my local host. Port is 5432. That is a default port for PostgreSQL. All this information they will give you. Your organization people will give you. Okay. For example, I'm going to working in HCL. Okay, HCL organization. I have placed in a team called ABC. Once I placed into the ABC team, they will give you what is the database, what is the database credential and everything. They will give you all those information. Okay, you no need to worry about it. Okay, so once they given, you can find all the host, port, everything. So my host is local host, port is 5432. Database which I created, Postgres. Username, password, my username, password, I'm going to feed it. Look at here. I have successfully connected with PostgreSQL. This time under connection, it tells me PostgreSQL. Previously it was showing Excel. Now it is showing PostgreSQL. So, but rest of the things are same once you connect with any database. Okay. So look at here, whichever table I want in this database, I have these 3 tables. Whichever table I want, I can drag and drop it. Again, same thing. That particular table preview will be listed here. That's all. But if you notice one thing, right, since it's a Tableau desktop version, here it is showing live and extra connection. Whereas Tableau public version doesn't show this, right? Because it's a trial version, right? You will not get all the privileges, right? So that is a difference, right? So let me click on Excel. This one, public version. This is public version. Look at here. I don't find that option here. Okay, this is obvious. All right. So this one thing, let me explain with Tableau desktop version. Okay. Once it is explained, I'll switch back to Tableau public version. Okay. All right. So live and extra connection definitely going to be an interview question. If you're a take up the interview as a fresher candidate, definitely they will ask you this question. 100%. Okay. But if you're a fresher, if you're experienced, then doubt, because they would not expect this basic things. Let me open Paint and I'm going to explain extract. Otherwise, let's find is there any image in Google. Live extract Tableau. Yes, here it is. This is what I'm expecting. So this is my Tableau desktop. Okay. This is my database. Whatever the database you connect, like connection. Hmm. This is not something I expected. Okay, we'll explain with this. So this is my Tableau desktop workbook, and this is my database. Database can be anything up to the scenario. Okay, I might have connected with SQL or Snowflake or whatever the database is. Okay, but assume this as a database. Okay, first let me tell you what is live connection. Live connection means I'm connecting data directly to the database. There is no intermediate. Directly I have connected with the database. You and me only. Okay, there is no intermediate person. Okay. For example, in my database, in my MySQL database, there are 100 records. Okay. Those 100 records, if I connect Tableau with MySQL, it will be available in Tableau also, because it's a live connection. If I'm in live connection, whatever the data that are available in the database, it will immediately reflect in the Tableau. This is what live connection. Okay. And for example, I told in my database, I have 100 records. Those 100 records lifted here. After some time, 10 more records getting loaded in my database. As soon as it is loaded into my database, which is MySQL, immediately those additional 10 record also impact in the Tableau, because we are in a live connection. Live connection means real-time updates, real-time update of data. As soon as it is populated in the database, immediately reflect in my Tableau desktop. This is what live connection. Okay, clear? Any questions? Extract in my Tableau desktop. Look at here, currently I'm in live connection. That means real-time update. Okay. Extract means it will create a copy. First, it will go and connect with the data, whatever the data that are available in the database. For example, I have 100 records in the data at the time of creating copy. Okay, I have 100 records in my database. Those 100 records will be extracted and saved in my local machine as a copy. Okay, this copy is what called as an extract. Tableau will not consume the data from the database directly. It will consume the data from this copy only. This local copy will be holding at the time of creating this extract, right? Whatever the data that are loaded in the database, those data only it will be holding, not all the data. Okay. For example, in my database, I have 100 records. At the time of creating extract, this one will take all entire 100 records. But after some time, in my database, I am getting 10 more records additionally. Previously, it was 100 records. Now I have got 110 records. Additionally, I have got 10 records. These additional 10 records will not available in this extract, because this is a copy. If I want to get that 10 more recently loaded records, I have to hit on this refresh button. Here I have refresh button. I have to hit on this refresh button, so that what would happen now? Again, it will create a new copy by communicating to the database. It will ignore the previous copy and create the new copy by again communicating with the database, so that you will be getting 110 records here also. So this is the way live and extract connection is working. Clear? No one asking question why? Clear, not clear, anything? Any response?
So is extract process is the manual updation process?
Yes, manually. That's what I'm saying, right? It's a manual update process. Manually means you are not going to take the copy and put it in the local machine. As soon as you click on the refresh, that process that I told you, right, it is going to happen in the backend automatically. It is going to create a new copy by communicating to the database to get the updated data. Okay, well, this is what live and extract connection. All right. Now I'm going to give you. I'm going to tell you another story to understand this concept more better, more easily. Okay. For example, there is a movie called Terminator that is available in the YouTube. Okay, you're going to watch this Terminator movie in the YouTube. Okay, this Terminator movie is about 2 hours length. 2 hours length, exactly. Okay, 2 hour movie. You're watching this movie in the YouTube. Okay, you're trying to open that movie, and you're going to watch this movie, but you're trying to watch this movie from the 1 hour immediately. You're trying to buffer that content from the 1 hour immediately. What would happen? Can anyone tell me?
Take times to load.
Why? Why? Yeah, that is right. Whatever you told me, right? That is correct, Pratipa. The thing that you told me, that is exactly correct. I'm just asking why.
You're fast forwarding the thing. It takes.
That is one of the reason. But now let me ask another question. Same question I'm going to ask differently. The same Terminator movie you have downloaded in your local system. Okay, local system that is available in your local system. You have stored this in somewhere in your D drive or E drive or whatever the local system drive. Now you are trying to play that movie from 1 hour immediately. What would happen?
Yeah,
it will play, right?
Yeah.
It will play immediately and it will not buffer. Why? Previously you
because
only told me, right? It will
offline.
buffer. So previously why it was loading?
Yeah,
Many people will access.
Because that content is not, previously the content is not available in your local system. It was available in the cloud. If you want to play that content from 1 hour, it has to load, it has to buffer, and it has to get, it has to go and hit the server to get the particular content. Correct? So that is why it was taking time when it was in online, right? The same Terminator movie, when you download and try to play that content from 1 hour, it is immediately playing because that is already available in your local system. So the difference between these two is what? The performance. Correct? The same, that is what here also I'm saying in the live and extra connection. Live means data, you're trying to render the data real time. It might take some time, right? That is the thing. But copy is nothing but you have all, when you're taking the copy, data copy and store in your local system, it is easily accessible. This is one thing. This is what difference between live and extra connection. Okay, same thing. Now let me ask you another question. The same Terminator movie, when I was downloading, right, it was about 2 hours length. Now I have downloaded this movie and kept it in my local system. Local system also, it is 2 hours, same 2 hours. But after some point, after 1 month, what YouTube has decided, they want to trim this movie about 1 hour 30 minutes due to some sensitivity, data sensitivity or content sensitivity. Due to some other reason, they remove some 30 minutes of content. Okay, now YouTube, we have only 1 hour 30 minutes content only. Would that reflect in your local system?
No.
No, right? Why?
Yes.
Because at the time of downloading, there were length of 2 hours. That is what you downloaded. So if I want to sync up with this YouTube hour, then again I have to download this Terminator movie. Correct? So the same thing here also. You would not be getting the extract. You would not be getting the updated data in the extract. If you want to get the updated data, you have to click on refresh, so that what it will do, it will go and get another copy from the data and stored in your local system again and again. It will do. They keep on doing the same process again and again. But however, Tableau will consume the data from the extract only, not from the database directly. Okay, so this is the example. So this is very important thing. That is why I'm giving this much of example. I'm taking this much of effort to explain this. I want everyone to understand this. All right. So any questions now?
No, sir.
Okay, super. But this will be available only in the Tableau desktop version. Okay. All right. Now let me do one thing. Let me close this. I don't want Tableau desktop. Since you people are using Tableau public, I also want to demonstrate with Tableau public only. Okay, now we have learned how to connect Excel data, how to connect PostgreSQL data, what is live connection, what is extract connection. All right. These are all the things. Now I'm going to explain what is data type. Okay, so basically data type is nothing but I need to tell the Tableau that what kind of data this column is holding. All right. So in the Excel, this is the data I have. Each and every column is holding different type of data. All right. But in Excel, it is not required. Whereas Tableau, you need to tell the Tableau, like you need to tell this column is holding this kind of data. Okay. We have various data type. For an example, notepad. First number. Example, this is how. If your column contains this kind of number, you have to map the data type under number data type. How to map it? You can simply click on this arrow and you can simply click on this icon and you can map it under data type, number data type. Look at here, number whole. Okay, number whole means the number will be whole number. If your number whole number, then you can map it under this particular data type. Okay, then only you can do some manipulation or number related functionalities. If you map it under string you mean text. Okay, if you incorrectly map this under text, then you cannot do number related manipulation. Okay, so that is why it is important to map each and every column under right data type according to your requirement or according to the data type that it is holding. Okay, so it is number data type. If your column holding whole number, you have to map it under number data type. Okay, this is one thing. Next data type, number decimal. In number itself, we have another data type. That is what number decimal. It looks something like this. For example, if my column holding 19.5, 20 some decimal values, I have to map it under this particular data type. Same thing, it will be listed here. Okay, I have to switch it. All right. And next is string. String, I mean, this would look something like this. String text or whatever it is. Okay, this looks something like this. Okay, so now let me ask another question. What is the data type of this? What is the data type of this?
Number.
Integer.
Okay.
Integer.
Integer. Yeah, you can also say integer, but when it comes to Tableau, you should call this as a number. Okay. But same thing, concept is same. I agree, but in the Tableau, you should call this as a number. Okay. All right. It's a number. Now let me tell you what is the data type of this. String. Okay, so even though it is mixed up with number text, you should consider this as a string only, because I cannot do manipulation something like this. 25 STF plus 2 doesn't make sense. Even though it's if I map it under number, it won't make sense, right? So that is why. All right, it should be considered as a text only. All right, and another thing, date. If your column contains date related data, if something like this, then you have to map it under date. If your data contains date along with time, for example, something like this, then you have to map it under date and time. So that data type also will be available here. Look at here. Date, date and time. Okay, you have to map it under that.
Okay.
Next, geographical data type. What is the geographical? So if your column contains anything related to location, for example, city, state, those will automatically map it under geographical data type. For example, let me tell you, let me take you inside the sheet number 1. Here, city, country, all these are mapped under this globe symbol. But generally, if you map the column under text or string data type, this is how it looks, ABC. Even if you want to understand, click on that, it will tell you what is the data type it maps under. Okay, it will tell you it is mapped under string data type. But some column might holding location related, it will automatically map under geographical. That is what geographical. Actually, it's a string data only, but it also has capability of location related data. Okay, city, state, something like that. In such case, you have to map them under right geographical role. So what is the role of the city? It is city. So under the city, you can find the city, so that Tableau will interpret that data as a city related data. Actually, it will automatically do that, but sometimes it will fail to do that. At that time, you have to map it right geographical role. Then only it will be mapping under right city or state, whatever it is. Okay. So this is what geographical. Geographical means location related. That is also separate database. Data type. Okay. Next, this is geographical. Geographic location. Next, Boolean. Boolean means if your data contains true or false, yes or no, then you can map it under Boolean data type. Currently, we don't have such things in any of our column, but let me create it on my own. So this is something I'm going to create it through calculation, but later I'll tell you what is calculation, how to create it. But for now, I'm going to, just for an example, I'm going to create such field. Okay. So category. So since this calculation returning true or false, it is automatically going to map under Boolean. Look at here, T/F. That means it's a Boolean data type. Okay, so that is what Boolean data type. So these are the data types we have. It is important to map each and every column under right data type. But mostly 98% scenarios, Tableau will automatically map the column under right data type. But you need to know what are the scenarios we need to put it in the right data type. Okay, according to that you have to make it. That is why I'm telling these things. For example, this is incorrectly mapped as a string data type. Okay, order date, but it is holding date. So I can switch it to date if I feel it has mapped under incorrect data type. Something like this. I can switch it. So that is important. Otherwise, it will not show you date related features. For example, if that is date, it will show you hierarchy. Look at here, plus I can drill down to furthermore, year to quarter, quarter to month, month to date, something like that. I can drill down. So for once Tableau recognize that field as date related, it will automatically enable this hierarchy. So date means it has own feature, right? So that kind of feature will be available when you map it under right data type. Otherwise it will not. For example, let me change this as a string data type. Look at here, now it is not showing me such hierarchy because it is considering this as a text, normal text. That is why it is important to map it under right data type. If it is mapping under incorrect data type, you should know how to switch it. Okay, this is all about the data type. So for any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, super. Next, I'm going to tell you what is dimension and measure. This is important, not only Tableau. If you go to any BI tool, you should know what is dimension and measure. Okay. Look at here. In the left hand side, Tableau has loaded all of my columns that is coming from the table. Whichever table I have taken here, for that table, column has loaded and displayed in the left hand side. But if you notice one thing, it has segregated into two parts. One is measure name, another one is measure values. Okay, look at here. The fields that are populated above of this line, right? Those are measure names. Okay. The fields that are populated above this measure values, basically below of this line, those are measure values. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you what is dimension and measure. Dimension is a qualitative of values. It's a categorical related data. If that column is categorical related data, then that is a dimension. If that column contains number related, then that is measures. Okay. So example for dimension, these are the example: category, product category, customer segment, region. So these are example for dimension because these are categorical related data. And measure is quantitative data. I can count it. I can do some aggregation, right? I can find min, I can find max, I can find some average, something like that. Okay. So that is what example for measure. So this is what dimension, this is what measure. Okay. But I'm going to tell you one more thing. Let me take the category and put it here. So here it is showing furniture, office supplies, technology. Okay, fine. It's a dimension data. It is not a number, right? So this is dimension. Now let me take sales. It is giving some number. Look at here. Actually, I take sales only, but it automatically converts this as sum of sales. This is the default behavior of Tableau. If you are taking any measure value, measure field, it will automatically aggregate it. Default aggregation is sum. That is why it is summing up all the values and showing this as a single value. Single value is 2515019. Summed value is what? 2515019. I'll show you in the Excel also. So let me summation of this particular column. Look at my bottom of my screen. 2515018.76. That is what here also it is showing, right? Same thing. So that is what it is. Okay. So now let me do one thing. Let me take row ID and put it here. What is this? Dimension or measure? Based on the explanation that I gave you, right? Based on that, tell me whether it is dimension or measure.
Dimension.
Why?
Because it refers dimensions. It refers a categorical column. We can't use this for calculations.
Okay. So let me do one thing. So what you are saying, since this row ID appeared in the names, measure names, you are saying this as a measure. Sorry, you are saying this as a dimension, right? Is that the reason you are saying this as a dimension? Or is there any other reason? So like what I'm asking, what is the reason you're saying this as a dimension? That is what I'm asking. Is it just because it has appeared just above this measure names?
Yes.
Okay, let me put this down. Let me convert this as a number because it is holding number only, right? Now let me do something like this. So now, is it dimension or measure?
Now it
You
will
only
be
told
considered
me.
as a figure.
Measure, sorry. But actually it is not, it should not, you should not define this field based on Tableau. Actually, basically how the way you're saying, just because this row ID appear above this measure names, you cannot say this as a dimension. No, that is not correct, right? Because Tableau also would do some mistake, right? I should decide whether it should be considered as a dimension or measure. Based on the explanation that I gave you, right? Based on that, you should decide whether it is dimension or measure. Based on that, you need to put below or above. So now let me tell you. Actually, it is a dimension. Even though it's a number value, even though row ID is holding number, it should be considered as a dimension, because when it comes to sales column, I would do summation, right? I would sum these three value, and I would say, okay, these three product ID sales is this summed value 31.772, correct? I can say in some scenarios, but in any scenarios, would I say summing up these three value is 6? Would that make sense? Are you getting my question? In any scenario, would I sum this values, row ID value, and would that give any meaningful data? For example, I'm summing these three numbers. The summed value is 6. Would that make sense? No, right? No. So let me give you another example also. For example, I have employee ID. Actually, it is number only. 1, 2, 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. So each and every employee will be having ID, separate ID. But just because this column is holding number, in any scenario, would I do summing up these three value and tell you 372 is the employee ID of these three employees? Would that make sense?
No.
So that is why. So it is according to the requirement. It is according to the column type. Sometimes it can be number, but just because it is holding number, you cannot consider this as a measure value, because you're not at all going to perform aggregation in this data. But you will do some categorical related analysis. For example, what is the this particular employee ID salary? What is this particular employee ID sales? Something like that. It makes sense. So it should always be considered as a categorical related data. So it should be dimension only. So that is why Tableau also recognizes this as a dimension. But sometimes it might also fall under measure also. At that time, you should know under which category it should go, right? Which category you should map it under. Okay, so that is why I'm saying clearly what is dimension and measure with these example. Okay, so by understanding all of these things, you should decide whether it is dimension or measure. If that is dimension, you can put it above. Like, look at here, all of them are in blue color. It's a dimension. If that is in green color, then it's a measure. Okay. So why we should know what is dimension and measure? Because if you are taking any measure value, it will automatically aggregate it. Okay. So that is why you should know. Okay. Whichever value you want to aggregate it, those you should map it under measure. Okay. This is not required. It cannot be considered as a measure. So let me take this and put it above so that it will automatically convert it as a dimension. If you want to do, you can also convert this as a dimension and measure differently. So right click, convert to measure. So it will come here. Right click, convert to dimension. This way also you can convert to dimension and measure. The same thing, you can also drag and drop. This is a shortcut to do that. Same thing. Okay. That's all. So this is what dimension and measure explanation. Okay, so dimension will be in blue color, measure will be in green color. This is also important. Okay. Next, I'm going to tell you. So these are all basic concept. Okay, before getting started, you should know. Definitely, you should know. Then only you can understand further things. That is why I'm stressing more on basic things. So further things also you can understand easily, but basic concept you should know, otherwise you cannot understand upcoming things. All right. Okay. Next I'm going to tell you what is discrete and continuous. So let me do one thing before explaining this. First, let me take some dimension. Let's see how it is behaving, right? So let me put it in the rows. That means I want to see this data in the row wise. That is what it means. So let me take, I have taken category and put it in the rows. Look at here. The categorical data showing something like this. Whatever the field that you're placing inside this canvas, right? It will work like a pivoting. In Excel, there is a concept called pivoting. It will similarly work like that. Similarly. Look at here in my original data, category column, I have these rows of categories, but it is giving only 3 categories here because it is work like a pivoting, as I told you before. So distinct data is what 3, that is what it is showing only 3 rows. So similarly, let me put the pivoting and show you how Excel looks like. Let me take the category. That is the category. And put it in the rows. Look at it here also, it is showing the same thing, right? So that is why I told you this canvas work like a pivoting. Okay, that is one thing. It will always show distinct value. Okay, this is mandatory thing. Next, let me take the measure and see how it looks. Let me take the sales. Actually, I'm taking sales only. But when I place it here, it automatically converts this as a sum of sales. Automatically aggregated. It is the general behavior of Tableau. Default aggregation is sum. That is why it is giving sum of sales. Sum of sales means sum of that particular column. That is what it is. So let me do the same thing manually, even in the data also. Sum of sales. Sorry, sum of this particular column. Same thing, right? It is giving same value. So same is what doing here also. Okay, sum. All right. This is the default behavior. Now let me tell you what is discrete and continuous. This discrete and continuous concept applicable only for measure, not for dimension. Apart from measure, it will also applicable for one more field, which is what date, that I'll tell you later. But for now, it is discrete and continuous concept only applicable for measure only, measure data, measure fields. Okay. So now let me tell you what is discrete and continuous. So let me open Paint. So this is my axis. Generally, charts will be plotted based on axis only. This is something you already know. You might have learned in schools. Okay. So this is my this is my x-axis. This is my y-axis, right? For example, y value is something like this: 10, 20. I cannot write properly. Bear with me. 30. Okay. So now let me also put one more value, 40. Okay, now I want to mark value 30 in the graph. Then how would you mark it? You would be marked here, correct? Let me erase this. இது மொத்தமா erase பண்ணதா? சரி, இருக்கட்டும். சரி, இப்போ now I want to mark value number 30. Then how would you mark it? You would mark something like this, correct? You would mark here. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I want to mark some value with respect to x value. For example, I have some x value. Each and every x values are subject. This is Tamil subject. This is max subject. This is science subject. This is English subject. Okay, each and every subject. I want to mark Tamil subject mark as 20. Where you will mark it? You will mark somewhere around here. Correct?
Yes, sir.
The data that is across these two value, like with respect to x and y, you will mark the area. Correct? Corresponding area. This is the data point for Tamil. If I want to represent this as a 20. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, max mark 40. Then how would you plot it? You would mark this somewhere here. Okay, so I have marked somewhere here. So if I want to, so I have marked this data point according to the marks, fine. But I want to plot this as a bar. Then it will keep this data point here. So it will on top of it, it will plot this graph something like this. Okay, wow. This is how it will do. If it is a bar, if you tell it should be in a bar, then it will show something like this. If it is a line graph, then it will show something like this. It will draw something like this. This to this, this to this. It will connect it. Then it looks like a trend. It is going up, it is coming down, something like that. Okay. So this is how. So basically, measure value. When it comes to measure value, when I take that value and put inside the canvas, it will draw from 0 to that particular number. It will be in continuous. Continuous means unbroken range of values. If I want to plot anything in the graph, it should be in continuous format. Then only I can plot in the graph. Because look at this carefully. I don't have any x value. Okay. I want to plot 30. Then how I can plot it? So this from here to here, I will see the exact. I'll see the y-axis and I'll mark it. Correct? So from here to here, I'm traveling. That is why I'm saying continuous. Continuous means unbroken range of values. Okay. So in order this to be a graph, it should be in a continuous format. That means 0 to that particular number. 30. If I want to mark 30, it should be 0 to 30. Correct? I cannot make something like this. Just a single number. No, it cannot. So 0 to this particular number, right? That is the way I can get the graph. That is what example for continuous. Okay. So discrete is distinct separate value. What is separate value? For example, I want to plot 30. The value number 30. That's all. I can display something like this. This is what discrete. If you display the value as it is, that is what discrete. If you display that value in the graph, that is what continuous. That's all. Because continuous means 0 to this particular number. Okay, that is the way it will behave here. So as I told you before, default aggregation is similar. Similarly, default chart type is bar graph. That is why here it is showing bar graph. We don't have x value, that is why it is showing that particular number in the y-axis, according to the y-axis number. So total summed value 2515019, almost 2500K. So that is why it is plotted somewhere here, 0 to this particular number. So currently it is continuous, that is why it is green color. This pill in green color, we used to call this as a pill. Okay. So this pill currently in green color, that means it's in continuous. That is why it is showing unbroken value, some range of value, 0 to that particular number. If I can also convert this into discrete. So click on this. There is two options, right? Continuous, discrete. Currently it is continuous. Let me convert this into discrete. Look at here it is showing actual value. Whatever the value is there, it is showing as it is, as I explained here. Okay. So that is what. So this is what discrete and continuous. Also, the pill color of discrete will be blue color. So why I want to know this? Because by just looking at the pill color itself, I should be able to recognize whether it is continuous or discrete. Okay, so that's all. So this is what continuous discrete. Okay, these are the basic things you should know. Okay, how it is getting aggregating, why it is aggregating. Okay, since it's a measure, it is getting aggregating. Why it is not aggregating? Because it has mapped under dimension. That is why it is not getting aggregating. It's a category data. So these many things you should know. Okay, so with this we can wind up the today's session. We'll continue tomorrow. Any questions before winding up? Before wind up the session, any questions?
Sir, can you share the data?
Yes, sure. Thanks for reminding this. Sure. We'll right away share the data because even I will also forget. I think. Oh, now let me copy. Yes, I shared it. That you can find it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, I'll also share the notes. Whatever I taught you today, right? That will be available in the notes, today's notes. Okay, any other questions?
The data cleaning பண்ண மாட்டோமா?
Data
Before
cleaning
loading it
separate.
into-
Data cleaning is a separate process, separate tool when it comes to Tableau. It is not like Power BI. In Power BI, you will be getting these two tools all together. Like you will be getting Power BI desktop, Power Query editor. These two tools together.
Yes, sir.
But here it is not like that.
Yes.
Tableau desktop is separate tool. Tableau prepped is separate tool. That is for cleaning work. So when it comes to Tableau, there will be two different developers. One is ETL developer, another one is dashboard developers. Okay, so that is why. So building a dashboard will be related to Tableau desktop. Tableau prepped is for cleaning data. Like it looks something like this. I think I have uninstalled it, but it looks something like this. That is separate thing, but it will not be bundled here. But it doesn't mean that you cannot clean the data here. You can clean the data here also, but that is not the proper way. Okay. When it comes to Tableau, you should use two different tools. Data cleaning, it should be done in Tableau prep tool. Building a dashboard work should be done in Tableau desktop tool. Okay, so now I'll show you how Tableau prep looks like. Tableau. This is how it looks. Almost similar to Tableau desktop data source tab. It looks something like this. You would do all the, for example, you will get the data, you will convert that into some data type filters, you would put some joins, and all the transformation, all the list of transformation will be done as in the workflow, and the final data will be pushed into the server. This is the way it looks. Okay, but that is separate tool. But some organization, what they would do, they would not use two different tools, Tableau ETL, Tableau Prep, Tableau Desktop. They would use only Tableau Desktop. All the data cleaning work they would be doing in the Tableau Desktop itself. It is up to the requirement. Okay, proper people would use this tool properly. Some people would use something like this. All right. Is my screen visible for everyone?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me open Excel. Look at here. When I save this file, it is asking where you want to save. So let me specify some path. Look at here. I have these many extension to save this file under. I can save this under XLSX, XLSM, these many extension, right? Even I can also save the file under CSV, right? So basically we have these many extensions, right? Similarly, in Tableau also we have some extensions. Okay, each one has different purpose. Okay, for an example, there is an extension called TWB and TWBX. These two extensions. Remember, I'm going to explain multiple extensions in this session, but these two extensions are very important. Other extensions you might use, you might not use. That is rarely you might. Please be on mute if you are not talking. I don't know who is talking. Let me see. கண்டிப்பா ஏதோ சொல்றீங்க, கொஞ்சம் மீட்ல போனீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும்.
12493149331
கார்த்திகேயனா? Okay, now it's muted. So totally we have some types of extension, like overall it will be like 5 or 6. That is fine. Let me find them. Audio settings. Okay, I got it. Let me see now. Who is that? Pratibhava. Rajeshriya. Okay, I don't know who is that, even through transcription. Okay, so totally we have some types of extension. Okay, so these two extensions you will be using frequently. Okay, but rest of the extension you might use, you might not use. Rarely it might be useful. Okay, so these two extension I'm going to explain very detailedly. Rest of the extension I'm just going to simply tell you like what it is. That's all. Okay, so that is how I'm going to explain this. Okay, so this TWB is just for like these two extension for saving your workbook. Because I'm opening a Tableau, right? Tableau public, whatever it is. Tableau public. I'm doing some development. I have done some dashboard or I have done some charts. It is important to save this chart, right? It is important to save my workbook on a daily basis, correct? So for example, today I might have completed 2 sheets or 3 sheets. Next day I might work with another additional 4 sheets. Totally altogether it might comes around 10 sheets. So each and every day I have to save it. Then only I can resume wherever I left yesterday, right? So basically these two extension for saving your workbook, that's all. Okay, so that is the purpose, but difference between these two is different. If you save the workbook under TWB, it will not save your data. So can anyone tell me what is live and extra connection?
In live connection, there will be a real-time update. Whatever we are updating in the server, the same time in our system also the real-time update will get. But in extract, there will create an intermediate copy in the local machine.
It will include the data. It will say including data. But if you save the workbook under TWB, it will save the workbook without the data. That's all. Very simple. I'll show you how to save it. So if you hit on the save, but you cannot save it here in the Tableau public. There are some restriction. Let me do it from here. Let's see how it is showing. Let me click on this save as. Look at here, it is asking me now. Let me put it in this path. Let me name this as 8 p.m. batch. TWB extension. TWB extension example. Okay, wow. So under this, there are two extensions, correct? Able to see my screen, right? With these two extensions, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So if I select the file under TWB, that means without data, correct? The extract copy that you created in the local machine, which will not be included in this workbook. That is what it means. Okay. Now let me save and let me go to that path. Wherever I save, right? I'm going to show you. So clicking on this. Look at here. This is the one I saved, right? So it takes 48 KB, right? This workbook, remember one thing, this workbook will not include any data. If anyone opened this workbook, right? As soon as you open this workbook, it will ask for password of your database. After providing password, it will communicate to the database and then it will get the data. Then only it will show this graph, this chart. Otherwise, it will not at all show the graph. Like you might have completed your dashboard. When you save the file under TWB, it will save only the structure of the charts. It will not at all save the data. When you open that workbook next time, it will definitely ask for password. Once you provide the password, it will fetch the data. Then only it will start showing your dashboard. This is what TWB extension. Okay, well, this is one thing. Also, look at the size of this file, 48 KB, very less, right? All right. Now I'm going to save this file under TWBX extension. Let me choose the same path. This time I'm going to choose TWBX. Also, let me rename this as TWBX example. Okay, save. Now let me go to that path. Look at here. Previously it was showing this icon. Now it is showing this icon along with ribbon icon, right? Ribbon symbol. That means there is a workbook. It is bundled with something. That is what data. It is bundled with data. That is what this image represents. Even when you hover over on this particular file, right? It will tell you what kind of file is this. This is Tableau packaged workbook. That is what TWBX extension. Okay. Also look at the file size, 376 KB. Why? I saved the same file only, but I saved it under different extension. Just because I saved it under different extension, the file size has increased. Why? Because it includes with the data. That is what it is. When I open this workbook next time, it will not at all ask for any credential. Like it will not at all ask for database, username, password, anything. It will not at all ask anything. Straight away it will open. Because data already embedded with the workbook. That is the difference between this and this. Okay, well. All right. So this is important. So for any questions? No? Okay. So you can also try to open this workbook. Okay, I'll share through WhatsApp. I don't know how it is going to open in public because how it is going to work, I don't know. Tableau desktop, definitely it will work as I told you. If that is a TWB extension, it will not allow you to open the workbook. As soon as you open this workbook, it will prompt for data. Give me a data, then only I can show the graph. Such a way it will give you the message. But when you open this workbook, without asking anything, you can see this graph. Because data already embedded with this workbook. That is the difference. Okay. So generally we would use TWB extension only while developing, because today I'm developing something. Tomorrow I have to open the same workbook. Again and again, I don't want to fetch the data from the database, right? So I'll simply save the file under TWBX and keep it in my local system. So when I come back tomorrow, if I want to work with the same development, I'll use the same file. That is the way. But if I open But another use case for TWB, right? For example, someone asking me to share the dashboard, whatever I developed, someone asking me to share the workbook. This time I'll be sharing my workbook under TWB extension without embedding data, because he is going to have the same credential and everything. When you open the workbook, Tableau is going to ask the password. Let him provide a password. Then data will be fetched from the database. Then he will start seeing the dashboard. This is the way it will go. Okay. So this is what TWB and TW extension. I'll also share the file that I created now. Okay, just try to open and see how it is working. Okay. So for any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Next we have extension called TDS and TDSX. You don't want to know this much, just know what it is. But unfortunately, this is something you cannot do it from the Tableau public version. We can do only from the Tableau desktop version. Okay. So if you right click on this option, here there will be an option called add to data source. By getting to that, you can create a data source file. Okay, I'll tell you, but currently it is not here because this is Tableau public version. Now let me open Tableau desktop version. And let me open this. Okay, so now I have right click, look at here, add to data source. Let me click on this. This time it is asking different extension, TDS and TDSX extension. TDS means just data, whatever the data that you have extracted for this file, those data only will be saved. Okay, actually these two extensions for saving the data source part, it will not at all save your chart part, and nothing will be saved. It will save only your data part. That is why we have these two extensions. For example, let me TDS only save extracted data. Okay, what? TDSX will save extracted. Actually, will save extracted data. This one will save actually only the connection structure, connection information. Okay, so that is what it is. So what is the connection information? That is where I connected with. Currently I have connected with Excel. That information only will be saved if I save the file under TDS. Okay, that is one thing. So if I save the file under TDSX, it will save the data, everything, all the data. That is what TDSX. But basically these two extensions for saving the data alone. Why I want to save the data? That question arises, right? I'll tell you one real time. Based on that, you can understand what it is and how it is. Okay. For example, I'm a team leader. Srini is a team leader. I have two team members, Kumar and Ravi. Okay. These are team members. Okay. So I'm a TL. I come across a requirement. Client asked me to render the data from the PostgreSQL database. But PostgreSQL database access as given only for me, only for Srini. Okay. These two people, there is no access for these two people for PostgreSQL access. But still, I want to develop a dashboard by using PostgreSQL data. How to do that? That is where this particular concept comes in. What I can do, what Srini can do, I can create a data source file because I have access to connect with PostgreSQL. By connecting PostgreSQL, I'll create a data source file. Data source file is nothing but just for saving the data alone, separately. Look at here, I'll tell you. I can select anything, and let me keep it in the desktop. It will confuse. Let me put it in this path. Let me name this as data underscore this one. Okay, wow, saved it. Now I have saved that data file. Let me show you. Where is the data file? This is the one I saved. Look at icon itself. You will come to know what it is. It's a packaged data source. Only that you open it, it will not show any graph and all. Okay, it contains only data only. Once I create this data file, I will publish this file into the server, Tableau server. SQL. Then I will publish this file into the server. Now, data file available in the tab. Even though these two people doesn't have access for PostgreSQL, definitely you'll be having access for Tableau server. Now I have published this PostgreSQL data into the Tableau server. What these two people can do, Tableau server, they will be connecting PostgreSQL directly. Like not PostgreSQL, the data source file that I published into the Tableau server. So how to connect it? There is a way to connect it. Look at here, when you open Tableau desktop, let me open it. Here, there is an option called, let this open. Here, there is an option called Tableau server, correct? Tableau server itself, you can connect this as a data source. You can click on this, connect. It will ask for credential and everything. Inside this, you can find the file that I published, that TL has published, right? Then I can connect it. But here I cannot sign in. But this is the way it will work. Okay, this is the work use case for this particular file. But mostly you will not be using these two files. Forget about it, but just know about it. Okay. In some cases, if you come across, then you can say what it is and how it is. Okay, that's all. All right. And next extensions we have TBM, Tableau bookmark. What is this Tableau bookmark? Tableau bookmark is nothing but I can bookmark any sheet and I can share with my senior to get that clarified. For example, in this sheet, I'm writing some calculation, but I come across some doubt. Okay, I don't know, something is going wrong. I want to clarify with my senior developer. What I can do, I can get into this Windows. There is an option called bookmark. Okay, bookmark option also disabled in the Tableau public, but which will be available in the Tableau desktop. Look at here. Here it is available. This one. Let me get into this. So I have doubt in sheet number 1, Windows, bookmark, create bookmark. So look at here. It has allowed me to save. So now I can save my progress. So wherever I'm creating bookmark, currently I'm creating bookmark sheet number 1. This sheet number 1 only will be extracted separately. That I can share with my senior developer to get that clarified. That is the use case. Tableau, this is bookmark. Let me save it. Now let me show you. Look at here. This is the one I created. But look at here, it shows only 44 KB because I saved only sheet number 1 only. If senior developer open this workbook, it will show only that particular page. Okay, that is what it is. Look at here, it's showing only sheet number 1. And he can clarify you by reviewing this particular sheet. Okay, that is what bookmark basically. Okay, that's all. And another one, dot hyper extension. So what is extract connection? Can anyone tell me once again, what is extract connection?
It will create an intermediate copy in the local machine.
It is saving intermediate copy. Under what extension it is getting saved? That is question. You never asked that question to me. Actually, it will be saved under dot hyper extension. That is a separate engine Tableau will use to save the data. Okay. Look at here, that I'll show you. Desktop, it will be in desktop and in the name of extract. Look at here, dot hyper. Even when you hover over on it, it will tell you Tableau extract, something like that. Okay, so this is what it is. This is what extracted data. So that data will be saved under dot hyper. Okay, so this is what the next extension. So I'll also put it in the Excel. Extracting data under bookmark. This one dot hyper is what extracting data. Okay, wow. Finally, we have a extension called TPS, Tableau Preference File. What is Tableau Preference File? I can do some customization. I can save my preferences under a file. Whenever it is required, I can call it. That is what it is. I hope that one also will not be available in the Tableau public version. Okay. For example, let me take here I have palette. Okay. Sorry, okay. But however, TPS file you cannot find. Once you install Tableau desktop, right? I told you no, it will automatically install Tableau repository. Where it is? Documents folder. My Tableau repository folder will automatically configure in your documents folder. If you get into this, bottom you can find the file called preferences. This is what TPS file. .tps file. I can save my preference inside this file. What is the preference? I'll tell you. For example, in this, I have, let me do category and sales, and then region wise color. Okay. Now let me, here I have, when you click on this, right, it will give you this list of palette. Palette is nothing but set of colors. Each and every palette will contain set of colors. Tableau 10 is a palette. Inside this palette, we can find some set of colors. So likewise, there are some list of palettes. Each and every palette, there will be some set of colors. Okay. What I can do, for example, I have project A, project B, project C. I have 3 projects. Each and every project, I'll be using set of colors. For project E, I am using some set of colors. Project B, set of colors. Project C, set of colors. So each and every project, I'm using set of colors. So this is something, it is hard to remember each and every colors codes and all. What we can do, you can mention the project name. For example, project B. Inside this project B, I can save set of colors. Look at here. I have saved three colors. So whenever I'm working on project B, I can simply take this palette and start applying colors. That is what Tableau preference will do for you. So what I can do, in order to add this preference, right click on this file, open with Notepad, which will open something like this. In default, it will be empty. Nothing will be, you can find empty inside this. All these are I created. Okay. So what you need to do, you have to put this code. Basically, this code is very simple. Open tag, that means I'm just opening a preference and closing the tag. That means closing preference. Okay. So open tag preference, close tag preference at the end. Inside this, I can open my palette, close palette. Open tag, close tag. If anyone knows HTML, then you will come to know what it is. Okay, based on HTML code only. Here we can code it. So what you can do, just copy this part and you can put it in the Notepad. What is mean by that? I can create different color palette under different name. For example, test is one color palette. Under this one color palette, I have created these colors. So color palette, color name you can find in the Google. For an example, color HTML code. If you put that, it is going to give you a lot of color and color codes. You can take any color and you can add it in the palette. Okay, according to my requirement. So likewise, I have added 3 colors. So open tag, close tag. Between these, you can add your color code, something like this. Okay, so whichever color you want, you can add it. Even if I want to add a new color palette, that is also I can do. For example, look at here. So far, I have only test palette, project B palette, transparent palette. Okay, wow. So in these palette, I have same set of colors. So now I am going to create a new palette. What I can do, I can simply copy this part, open color palette, close color palette, copy this part and put it below. And here I can name differently, for example, project C and different color thing. For example, let me take this color and put it here, and this color, put it here, and this color I can put it here. Okay, well, that's all. Now let me save this file and close it. I just closed it. Okay, save and close. And now you have to close all the open Tableau file. Then only it will get reflect. Let me see. Is there any other file? Yes. Now let me open Tableau as a fresh file. Something is not getting loaded. That means there is some error. Let me open and see what is an error. What went wrong? This is what I copy pasted, right? Here I missed this. Yes. Look at here. This is my preference. Where is the open tag? Okay, this is open tag. This is close tag. Similarly, this is open tag. This is close tag. Here I have mentioned two close tag. So let me remove one and let it be. This is open tag and close tag. Here I have another palette for that open tag, close tag. Fine, it looks fine. Now let me save this and close it. Now let me open Tableau again. Okay, now it is opening fine, no problem. Now let me get into this and let me create a new one. Not this one, this one. Category, sales, and let me apply some colors. Based on region, these are all things I'll tell you later, but for now I'm just talking about only the colors. Okay, only the preference file. So edit color, look at here, earlier it was showing only transparent. Now it has started showing project C also. Whatever the color that I added, it is listing here. That is the usage of TPS file. Okay, well, so these are the extensions we have in Tableau. So for any questions? Public version. Let me create a new sheet. For creating new sheet, you can click on this icon. Okay. So sheet number 1 and 2. This one I don't want. Delete it. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So also let me delete this one also. I don't want. Or otherwise, let me clear it. Okay. Now we have got the empty thing. So now I'm going to talk about what is worksheet. This is worksheet. Inside this, what are the things we have and how to use it? That is what I'm going to tell you. Okay, inside this we have row shelf, column shelf, canvas. Like inside this I have some space, right? Sheet view, single sheet view, page shelf, filter shelf, marks card. I'm going to explain all of them now. Okay. First, let me explain what is this rows. Rows is nothing but in Excel pivoting, we have option called rows. If you drag and drop any field into the rows, that will be listed in the rows. Here also it will work similarly. For example, category, and let me put it in the rows. Look at here, category values listing in the rows. That's all. You can put n number of fields. This one, that one, you can keep on put it. different rows. Okay, which will show in the different rows. That is the understanding of rows. Even if you want to more clear on this, you can refer this icon. Small icon is there, right? It is showing one by one line. They draw a line, one by one. That means the field that you are placing here, the value will be displayed one by one. That is what it means. Okay, that is the understanding of row shelf. I can take any field and put it here. You can take dimension, you can take measure, anything. Okay, but which will be listed row by row, one by one. Okay, so that is the understanding of rows. Next, let me talk about the columns. For example, when I take the category into the rows, it is giving one by one, but column, it is going to give you one after another one. That is the way it will show the data. Let me take this, put it here. Look at here, furniture supplies technology. Horizontally it is showing. Even for that also, they have given this small icon. By just understanding, you will come to know what it is. That means the field that you take and place it here, which will be show it as one by one, column wise, horizontally. Okay, so that is what column. I can also place multiple columns also, multiple fields also. But the way it will work, for one category, what are the all four region? For one furniture, all four region. For one supplies, all four region. Something like that it will show. Look at here. One furniture, all four region. One office supplies, all four region. Because first you have placed category first and then region. So category will take a primary role and rest of them will take secondary role. Likewise it will work. It is important to play around with this option. Then only you will come to know how it is working. Okay. But basically the way it is working, it will show column wise, horizontally. Okay. That is the way it is. So now what I can do, I can put it in the category, in the row, and region in the column. Look at here. Look at how it is showing. So category in the rows, region in the columns. Now I can take any sales, put it in the ABC. What is this ABC? I'll tell you. Generally, ABC will automatically generated by Tableau. Why? Just to accommodate the measure values. Okay. So there are some purpose. Because when you hover over on any cell, you are getting tooltip. Right? Tooltip means it is giving floating window. When I hover over on there, it shows floating window, technology south. It is just letting me know that where I'm over and corresponding data according to where I'm hover over. That is what tooltip. Okay. This tooltip option only be available when it is measured. Only in the ABC section. So ABC section for accommodating all the measure values. Okay. So now let me take one measure and put it in the ABC, which will automatically feed it in the text. This one. Okay. Look at here. It is showing all the sales. So what is the sales for furniture with respect to all four region? Likewise, it will work. Okay. So this is what ABC. Even if it is not required, you can also hide the ABC. That is also one of the interview questions. People would ask you how to hide the ABC. For an example, let me clear everything. Let me click on this to clear everything. This is just a shortcut to do that. So let me take the category and put it here. Currently it is showing one ABC. Now I have multiple columns, city, state, region. I have so many things. But in this scenario, I don't want ABC at all. I just want only these two columns. Then you can hide this. You cannot remove this. Okay, there is no direct option to remove this. You can only hide this. The way you can hide this, create a calculated column. You can name this as blank because I'm going to create a blank one. So inside this, I can create a blank one. Okay. Blank, you can take this and put it in the color. Sorry, put it in the text. Look at here, it is gone. This is the way you can hide it. And you can also change this to polygon so that it looks so empty. So this is the way you can do it. Okay, you can drag towards right and you can hide. This is the way you can hide it. There is no other go. Okay, this is the way it is. There is no other go. Okay. So this is the way it is. Now we have learned what is row shelf, what is column shelf, what is ABC section. Okay. So far, any questions? Yes, no, anything?
No,
sir.
Okay, all right. Now let me clear everything. Next, I'm going to tell you what is this filter. Filter is for just filtering the data. For example, I have category wise sales. Okay. Category wise sales. Now I want to filter by category. So take the category and put it in the filter shelf. It will ask some option. In detail, I'll tell you each and everything. I'll tell you later. But for now, just I have taken this category and put it in the filter. Let me click on OK. That's all. I have selected category. Right click, show filter, so that that filter option will be displayed in the right hand side. Now it will allow me to filter. For example, I can see only office supplies, only technology. I can select any option. I can see corresponding value in the visual. That is what this filter means. I can take any field according to the field that I have taken. It is going to allow me to filter the value. That's all. Okay, just for filtering the values, I can use the filter shelf. I can take n number of filters. There is no limitation. Okay, you can take n number of filters in this. Okay, one by one. All right. Next, I'm going to tell you what is this marks card. Marks card for customizing your visuals. For example, let me create a new sheet here, category and sales. Also remember, rows means y-axis, column means x-axis. I have graph something like this. Okay, so this is y, correct? This is y, this is x, right? I can consider any values as x value and I can consider the number as y value generally. This is how it will be, right? So the field that you are placing inside a column, which will automatically consider as a x. The field that you are placing into the rows, which will automatically consider as a y. That is the way it will work. Okay. Now let me take the sales, put it in the, not here, let me take the category and put it in the column. That means X. Furniture supplies technology. I'm just placing in the X value. So Y value I'm going to consider this as a sales. Look at here, I have got it. So X value, furniture, office, technology. So Y value, what is the sales? For each and every X value, I have got the progress. What is the default chart? Bar graph. That is why it is showing in a bar graph. Okay, this is the way basically you can plot any graph by understanding this X and Y. So if I swap this, what would happen? Category will be come and lie in the Y. Sales will go in the X. How it looks? This is how it looks. Now it is going to be X, correct? If I interchange it. Now it will show furniture progress. It will show something like this. Then it is horizontal bar graph. If you swap it. So that is why it is important to understand X, Y. So now let me swap it. Let me take this and put it here. Take this and put it here. Look at here, I have got horizontal bar graph. This is the understanding. Okay. So now this marks card for customizing this chart. First option currently it is automatic. Automatic means in default it will give you bar graph. That is why it is automatic and give you bar graph. But if I want, I can also change it to different chart. Bar graph, line graph, area chart. So let me put it here and put it here. Area chart and keep it in the entire view. Now let me change it. Square. So whatever the chart I want, I can use it. From the list of element, I can choose whatever I want, basically. Okay, so that is what the first option. Okay, I can choose anything. According to that, chart type will be changed. Next, color. I can change the color of this bar. For example, I want furniture should be in a color office supplies should be in a color. So all three should be in a different color. Then how to do that? If I click on this one, it will allow me to change the color for all three bars. For example, let me click on orange. Look at here, it is getting changed everywhere. But if I want color for each and every bar, I need to think about it. Which column will do this segregation? So category only will be having this segregation. So let me take the category and put it in the color so that it will show different color. Even if I want, I can also change the color. Edit colors. So furniture, this color, office supplies, this color, technology, this color. I can also change it. So this is the way I can apply the colors. So you can apply the colors directly or by any field. That is also you can do. So now I have applied category wise. What if I applied by region wise? You need to think about it. Remember, in one furniture itself, furniture data itself, I have multiple region, correct? Huh? Yes or no? If you don't understand, tell me, then I'll explain again. So I'll also show the data. My Tableau repository, data source. Open this data. In one furniture data itself, I have multiple region. That is what I'm saying. Look at here, I have 4 region even in furniture itself. Then what would happen? It will become a stack bar chart. Because inside this furniture itself, I have multiple segregation, multiple region. So region into the colors, look at here, stack bar chart. Okay, well, so this is the way you can make stack bar chart. And this is the way this way also you can use these colors. So according to, like, you need to think according to your requirement, you can use any fields. Okay, well, so that is the understanding of colors. Okay, now let me take this out. Next is size. Basically, directly you can adjust the size, so it will impact all the bars. I can also apply the size based on a field also. For example, sales, and put it in the size. So according to the sales size, it will show. Let me adjust this. Look at here, this size is bigger than others. That will because it is a largest sales. That is why it is showing largest bar. Width. So the size you can apply, you can resize it manually, or otherwise you can apply the size based on any measure. That is also you can do. Okay, that is what this size. Next, label. Label is nothing but I can show the label because people would not understand what is the sales, right? So in order to understand this, you can drag and drop the sales into here so that it will display the sales. This is by the field. You can also directly also you can enable. For example, let me click on label, enable this so that it will show the label. That is also you can do. So directly also I can enable the label. By one particular field also I can enable it. Anything, whichever way we want. Okay, that's all. That is what label. In label itself, it will allow you to customize. I can customize, like, let me take the sales and put it here. Now I have got the data. I can change the color, font style, and everything. Gold, this color, orange color. Likewise, I can change it. Okay, that is what the customization I can do inside this. Font style, alignment, center, side, something like that. Okay, so that particular customization I can do inside this. That is what this label. Okay. Next, detail. Before this explaining detail, I'll tell you what is tooltip. Okay, post which I'll tell you what is detail. So what is tooltip, I said? Anyone? Previously I told you what is tooltip.
That moving window. Which
that floating window is what tooltip. Okay. So when I hover over on any chart, it gives me some floating window additional information. Right? Furniture 754748. Office supplies 731893. So tooltip will give you additional information in floating window according to where you hover over. Okay, wow. This you can customize it. You can disable it. You can add some more information. For example, here I can also add profit or other information also. For example, profit into the tooltip. Quantity also in the tooltip. So that additionally, I'll come to know these information through tooltip. So sales is 731. 893. Quantity 23K. Profit is 126K. Something like that. That is what tooltip. Okay. Without affecting the visual, you can add some more information in the tooltip option, floating window option. If you want, you can also customize it by getting to this option. Click on this. Everything will be listed here. If you don't want anything, you can take this out. You can delete it. That particular one will be removed. Okay, well, if you want to add, you can click on this option. You can add whatever you want, which will be listed here. But some might not listed here. If it is not listing, you have to take that field and feed into the tooltip so that it will start listing here. Okay, then you can insert. This is the way it is. So currently I don't have sales. Let me insert it. So wherever your cursor is, in that area, it will be inserted. Okay, this is what tooltip. If I don't want, I can also disable it. Disable means it will not show. That is what it is. Okay, that customization you can do inside this. Okay. Next, let me come to the detail option. For example, I have some visualization. Okay, I have done some visualization, and I can download the underlying data, backend data of this particular visual. In order to do that, I can get into analysis, view data, and here I'll be having summary full data. Whichever you want, you can click, and it will allow you to download the data. Oh, it is public. That is why it is not showing that option. But in Tableau, it will show that option. Okay, to download the data, I'll show you. Tableau desktop, it will show the data. So this one, let me put simple graph. Let me get into this option, view data, full data. Look at here, I have downloading options. Right? So this option not available in public. If you click on this, it will allow you to download the data. But remember, when you download this, it will show only the relevant field inside this. But my client asking, Srini, graph is showing category wise sales, fine. But additionally, when I download the data, I want to show profit also. But profit should not be included in the visual. I want only in the data. In such case, what you can do, you can add it through tooltip. For example, profit and sorry, not tooltip, details. You can add it something like this. Now, when you download the data, it will show analysis, view data. Look at here. Now it has added profit also. So likewise, that is what it is. Okay, tooltip is nothing but without affecting the visual, you can add some detail information. That is what detail tab. Okay, well, that's all. So additionally, you will here one more option will populate, angle or path or shape, but it will show when there is the option. Okay, when there is a such option, that time only it will show. I'll tell you that one also. Okay, so tomorrow I'll tell you how to plot a chart and all. That time I'll tell you. That time it will populate. Okay, when it is populating, at that time I'll explain rest of the things. Okay, but this is what marks card. Any questions?
Sir, how do we change the value of y-axis into hundreds?
100.
No,
100
sir,
K.
it's in thousands, right? I wanted the unit in hundreds, like
But if you-
100K, 200K, but I wanted it in 100 units. How do I change it in y-axis?
If you put it, then how would you show this? Like, in such case, it should show so many points, right?
Yes, sir. But I'm just asking it, how do I change it? I don't like, how do I change it?
You need to do customized access, edit access. I'll tell you. Okay, you have to right click and edit access. I'll tell you. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay, with this we can wrap up the today's session.